G'day everyone, how's it going? Keith here. I just wanted to share some information that I had regards an experience that I shared with a young lady who I thought was quite brave. I've forgotten her name. She's also quite hot. But she was a crew member of the Sea Shepherd and was involved, in fact, in a tourism kind of experience at Williamstown. I was down there with some friends and their family, young kids. Got to go on the Sea Shepherd and check out the boats, and it was really cool. They've got some nice gear, and I really respect those dudes, which is why I'm making this video. So, got to see some interesting damage to other vessels they had in the docks there, and been a hectic anti-whaling season. So this young lady, we went down and had a tour in the bows of the non-damaged ship, and past the kitchen and the galley and into a little anti quarters kind of thing where we sat down and watched this video of this young chick and several others in Arctic survival gear on the bow in around Antarctic waters, standing on the bow at ease, but standing straight up, shoulders back, looking dead into the eye of fucking death. And she was shaking a little bit as she told the story. And what the Sea Shepherd boat was doing was acting as an interdiction vessel between a refueling tanker and a Japanese whaling ship that required refueling at sea. So this little boat, not so little, it's pretty fucking big. It was, in terms of, it's not your average rubber ducky Zodiac or fishing dinghy. It's a ship, a small ship. So this small little ship put itself in harm's way, and the crew stood by their captain on deck as these two Japanese ships proceeded to try and crush the little ship between them in an actual act of piracy in Arctic, or Antarctic I should say, waters that would cause death from cold hypothermia in about 30 seconds. But these cats, this chick in particular who was relating the story and showing us the video, she shook as she fucking related the story, but she and numerous others stood their ground on the fucking bow of that ship under their captain's orders. Good fucking show. So, maritime defence platforms. I hear the Sea Shepherd's being deployed to the Great Barrier Reef soon to protect the Great Barrier Reef from enemies both foreign and domestic. Now, after this epic heavy tale that this reasonably small but staunch as fuck chick related on the tourism venture day, I ended up dropping a $50 note, just because I was fucking sick. And it's like, yeah, good work, guys. Anyway, the interdiction story that this girl related inspired me, and I've had this idea. I've related it to numerous people, but I'd like to relate it to all of you in the hopes that it'll get built. So, what we have is a big fucking boat. Let's make that the back with like the helipad and shit. Fucking, so that's the size of it. So big fucking boat with a pointy bit at the front usually. And let's put some big fucking tankers on this one. This is a big fucking refueling boat. Put another pen. Does this pen work? Right, this pen. Yep. So tankers. So there's a big fucking refueling boat. And here is a fucking dragline trawler. Japanese factory processing fucking boat. And let's put the fucking little hatch there, and bridge is about here, I think. So two boats, they're Japanese. And you got this little fucking boat, about this big, you know, crew of 40 sort of thing. This little boat comes in between them and stops the refueler from refueling the factory ship. It's called an interdiction. You slide in, maneuver to prevent an operation from happening, be it an escape or a refueling operation or something. That's what interdiction is. So what happened? These two fuckers, the Antarctic waters, moved in. You see the relative sizes of the things, yeah? Millions of tons of steel. And these fucking dudes standing on the deck saying, "We believe in our captain and we think you guys are fuckers." So they stood there, didn't move, in their Arctic survival gear, in Antarctic waters, knowing that if these Japanese fuckers actually sunk the boat, it would be 30 seconds. If they didn't get pulled out within 30 seconds, even with all that kit, they'd be fucking dead. It's that fucking cold. And these fuckers, they actually started crushing the boat and actually started to cause structural fucking collapse of the... it was pretty full on, but eventually the chicken game got called off and they got out of there. Details there are a bit sketchy, but the result of it was that the Sea Shepherd boat was damaged critically, and I think there was some other damage to these boats, so I think they all had to go home. But still, this is one boat and there's a fleet of these, like, you know, there's probably 3 or 4 of these and about 20 of these, I think. Anyway, I could be wrong on those numbers. The idea is for the interdiction vessel not to get crushed. So this is an interdiction harness design for Sea Shepherd engineers and, you know, any other army that would like some assurance in the waters. So you got a boat. It's a nice boat, isn't it? Check it out. It's got like a hull, you know, some shit going on, waterline. The boat, that's that little boat there, yeah? And underneath it, the engineer, the series, let's say 3 for argument's sake, might be 5, might be, you know, whatever. Hydraulic clamps. So if we do it in profile from the back, you have these down here somewhere. Hydraulic clamps. So they're all attached along the bottom with a big fucking bar. Yeah, so it's like it's on fucking jet skis or something. So hydraulic clamps that come on a bar. Oh, sorry, I didn't put the top on the boat. There you go. And they can open and close and grab stuff. Looks like one of them, the craw. Yeah, if you imagine that. It's like a long craw. The craw. Anyway, it's a long claw, so I can grab onto shit. Now, how the fuck does that help an interdiction vessel be prevented from being sunken? Well, let's put the fucking propeller on the back here. Remember that this thing's a mobile bastard. Let's give it 5. Look, it's got 5 little propellers. Yeah, you could even put thrust and propulsion system in these, but that's a whole other. It's a whole other thing. Which, you know, if you like this idea and want to build it, perhaps you can pay me and I can fucking upgrade some other shit for you. And I would love that, actually. But I've, you know, got 100 acres here as well, and I'm doing land-based earth care on, and it needs protecting and you know, funding. But anyway, I'm giving you this because I think it's a valuable thing that should be built. So attached to this, let's look at the section. You got a little harness thing, and it's got some little fucking doobie bits there, and so the claws come down and they grab this other harness. Yeah. So in section, let's just say the harness sits this clamp too. Maybe it's even got a fucking divot in it like that, so the boat sits in it. And it's clamped to the bottom of the boat. So you got this fucking thing. Obviously that's not to scale. So clamp, and you got this thing. Now why is that so good? Because attached to the clamp, you've got these babies. So you got these. So you get your clampy bit. So obviously the clampy bit will probably be a bit thinner than this bit. It's a bit out of proportion. Along here, let's say for argument's sake, at every clamp position, you've got one of these fucking. Let's put 5 clamps in, just because it looks sicker. So you've got these hollow tubes, which is this, yeah. So let's draw a hollow tube, cylinder. So you got this harness. It's attached to these series of, and yeah, it adds a little bit of fucking draft to the bottom of the boat, but doesn't have to be so. This one can be a lot thinner than the boat. You understand maritime buoyancy, blah blah blah. It's just a rough sketch. Aerodynamics, hydraulics, all that sort of shit, so it can travel through the water nice and swift. Anyway, so you got 5 of these tubes, these ballast tubes, these hydraulic ballast tubes, attached to the bottom of the interdiction harness, right? So inside each of these tubes, you got like hoses and harnesses and shit. So as it comes down and clamps in, maybe even each of these little clamping things could have like clamping hose connectors that can like like fucking outer space styles, insta clamp hydraulic connections and things, quick connect, quick release, articulated, okay, clamps in, okay, hose 2B active, fuck yeah, okay, pressure test, okay, active, yeah, quick disconnect, pull the fucking cord and they'll pop off. Because you want to be able to get rid of this fucking thing really quickly. Now, I think some of you have already tweaked on to what the idea is, but I'm going to complete the idea anyway. So inside these ballast tubes are smaller tubes. There's a hydraulic push, hydraulic ram right in the middle. So smaller tubes inside the larger tube. With smaller tubes inside the larger tube with hydraulic rams on each side. So it pushes these tubes inside the tubes outwards at a position coinciding with every clamp. Piece of piss, right? Now what's so good about that? Well, you put a fucking pointy bit on the end of these, like a really fucking pointy bit. And inside, if you were to 3D print it, you might have a cone with like internal, vertical struts going around. So if you look at it, it's got kind of this action going on, like inside. And then you might also want to 3D print reinforcing. So stiffen the fuck out of it. You could weld it. It's much easier to 3D print it, but make a really solid fucking cone. So it's a piercing. It's a hull piercing device, right? So you're parked in the middle of 2 big fuck off boats, and you say, "Don't squash us, please. It'll fucking hurt you. Please don't squash us. It'll fucking hurt you." And they go, "Oh, really? We don't believe you." You go, "Really? It'll fucking hurt you." And so you have these hydraulic rams to be able to withstand not the crush force of these 2 boats, but the hull piercing force times 5, times 2 say, but the hull piercing force required for a reinforced shaft to pierce the hull of a dirty, great, big fucking ship. Yeah? And you have these boats there, and you got driving down the road, those of you who are into trucks and moving heavy shit, and you got like what they call an envelope, a load envelope, or when you're turning around, doing turning circles through mountain roads or whatever, you've got this much clearance. So within the clearance, you've got the ends of the hydraulic hull-piercing rams. So when you're just toddling around, it's fine. But if some cunt should decide that they want to crush you between two boats of theirs, what you do is you extend these out, and you make them strong enough, so suddenly, and you might even, on the end of these, just to stop shit going sideways, where it's got your hole piercing thing, you might even want to flange it out, right, as a dead stop. So once they've decided to pierce their own holes, and they can't go too far, and it acts as a dead stop within this envelope, so that once they pierce themselves, if they back out, they'll fill themselves full of water real fucking quick. But if they keep going, they'll hit these dead stops, which are prevented from going too much further by that. And if they're really fucking keen, they'll just break these fucking reinforcings off because they're that big. But it'll give you some more moments to go quick disconnect. These cunts have just pierced their own holes, and you just motor the fuck out of there, right? Zoom. They've fucked themselves then, and you're safe, right? The beautiful thing about this hydraulic ram setup, these ballast tanks, is that if you do all the hoses and everything right, you can also pump these full of air or water or whatever. You have it with a self-contained hydraulic power pack, so it operates as an independent vessel, variable level submersible through ballast flooding, like a submarine for say, blah 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 blah. And you make this thing going up and down. So when it's not attached to this and you're not using it to save your ass from motherfuckers, you can actually take it out to sea, drop it, let it sink a bit, drive away, and float it again. And suddenly you've got a base of operations that's floating. Because remember, that's pretty much as big as you double the surface area of your boat to be able to maintain, to do maintenance operations, cargo drops, little sea-going soirees for the helicopter set, and come in and fucking play some DJ tunes and shit, and fucking have a fundraiser, and drink shots of vodka with Addy Gill. That'd be fun. But anyway, I've pretty much got this full design spec'd up, and just need a team to fund me and the project. I don't want much. I just need what do I need for this place? Sort things out. $2,500 a month. It's not a lot. Would sort out the Clough project. Get the rainforest happening. And anybody felt like chucking in legal fees to combat drug dealing. New South Wales judicial and police officers in the area. It'd be nice to have some funding for that too, because there's a few arseholes which need to be burned at the stake. We are protected by community here, and they've been given no uncertain terms as to what will happen if those terrorists decide to continue with their unlawful and illegal actions against the people, vis-a-vis making false criminals, falsely incriminating people who refuse to play with them, and threatening families with the false incarceration, or sometimes otherwise. People get themselves in trouble. And basically, with the police and the Justice Department threaten people with jail time if they don't fabricate and manufacture drugs for the police and justice people. It's ridiculous. So we need funding for that too. Anyway, that's not the purpose of that. The purpose of this video, just explain how an interdiction harness works. And we can make a couple of these and clamp them together and have fucking big floating island parties, make one of them grow food, blah blah blah, you know, island nations for sea level rising. It'd be nice to have a fucking bunch of these in there, and I'd love to run a program or a project, you know, and put me in charge of it. I'm a pretty good manager and program director. Part of my many skills. So this is for the Sea Shepherd, but you know, anybody who really wants to use it to assure themselves in a manner where they don't wake up screaming at night when they're worrying about their maritime fucking borders and things, is welcome to use it. Anyway, I'm Keith. Where's my hat? It's not around, it's outside. But you get the idea. Ciao.